Well, I'll be very honest with you. The music really carried me away.
Les Marsden, he just blows me away every single time.
And tonight, it was just brilliant. I couldn't believe it was the same piece. They had nailed it.
Overall, the performance was very enjoyable, very wonderful to listen to.
I mean, I always think, wow, that was the best thing I've ever heard him do yet. And then the next time, he outdoes himself every time. It's just unbelievable.
I'm listening, and it's interesting to hear little wafting bits of music come out of the dining room, and to hear those combined with Yosemite Falls, with the sound of the wind coming through the trees. And I'm stunned that this Steller's jay has kept its mouth shut, because they are one of the noisiest birds around. They're one of the best imitators. They do a spectacularly good red-tailed hawk screech, and they do it on purpose so they'll scare away other birds. But all of these sounds that combine, I mean, it's life.
Please count. Look at it. And that is making up for all of the time we did not have a chance to rehearse this. So, yes, again. Yes, again. I will try to be more clear as we get to.
We are in my book, we are in the most spectacular place on the face of the planet. There's just something to me about the forces of nature combining in the most spectacular way to create this. From the very beginning of what was to become Yosemite National Park, the arts played a very important critical role. People refused to believe that this place could possibly exist.
So art has always played a role in Yosemite's past and their future. So a lot of people connected to Yosemite even in the beginning through photography, through other art, through music. And
those works of art got out and were shown to people on the East Coast, who at first said, this cannot be. You're showing us this stuff, these oil paintings, they're fantasy. This place can't exist. And it then took the photographs to prove to people it did exist and it needed to be saved. In 1864, a few people got together who had seen this very remote area that was not really accessible to anybody else, and they said, this has got to be saved. It could be developed. There was already sheep grazing going on in Tuolumne Meadow area, and so they got together and they formed a little cartel, and they persuaded our California Senator John Conness to take a bill to Washington. That bill passed through the Senate and almost immediately. And then it was signed in May of 1864 at the height of the Civil War.
Les is this fabulous individual that has tremendous passion for the park and music. So through the years we learned that he wanted to do this set a piece, which was 4 movements, and we were very supportive. And I heard a couple of the different movements over the last couple of years, and I was really moved by it. I mean, you can feel Yosemite in it, you can feel the Park Service, and you can feel his passion and love for nature.
when the idea of writing these 4 pieces came to mind is, okay, great, a piece about the Wilderness Act. What does that mean? And I had to figure out exactly what I wanted to say, how to translate an anniversary of the Wilderness Act into musical terms, and terms that would then communicate with an audience. And I took an approach there with recreating the 4 classical elements of nature, the earth, wind, air, water, and fire, the 4 classical elements. So that was one approach. But then I had to take an entirely different approach when I was commemorating the 150th anniversary of the Yosemite Grant Act. I thought, well, the thing that made the most impact to me about that act is the fact that it was done in the midst of the Civil War. So that piece became a piece of music about conflict, about the North and the South, conflict, war, devastation, and then in the midst of all this, when we didn't even know if we would have a nation arising from this war, preservation. We're here today. It's really kind of a special thing. In 2002, I created the Mariposa Symphony Orchestra. And from the very beginning, I kept thinking, how would an orchestra sound in the great lounge of the then Ahwahnee Hotel? We're now calling it the Yosemite, the majestic Yosemite Hotel.
We've really wanted them to play here, and I think this is the first time he's done the 6 different concerts in different communities, which I think is incredible, so we can share this even broader than it's been shared before. And every time it's here, it's a packed crowd.
One of the things that was so extraordinary was after I wrote the piece and began to think about the fact that, yes, we'll perform it in Mariposa, we'll perform it in Yosemite, but it would be so incredible to be able to share this music, to share this orchestra, and also to the impetus to preserve and protect what we have with all of the gateway communities surrounding Yosemite.